Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the
Hello, everybody out there in TV land. My name is John Pulino. Sitting on my left, as always, is Billy Wilson. Billy.
Hey, how you doing, John?
I'm a little under the weather.
I hear, you know.
Yeah, I admit it. I admit it.
You admit it.
Yeah.
That's good that you admit it.
No, you
That's
know,
the first step
a lot
to
of
recovery.
yeah, right. A lot of TV personalities, they don't admit it. No, I have a sore throat.
No, you have a sore throat. And
Yeah.
I can hear it when I came in today.
My kids are very sick, actually. And,
Oh.
I think what happens is, you know, you get run down taking care of the kids, and then next thing you know, good thing it didn't get me, but it got me.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yes. And for those who don't know, school starts this week in Middletown and also
In Meriden, where I work, yeah.
So Thursday's the first day of school.
Right, right.
So
A lot of transitioning,
Yeah.
a lot of, you know, my building's under construction right now in Meriden. You know,
Yes.
it's nobody's fault, but it's just a lot of confusion. There's dump trucks and this, and Gilbane workmen are everywhere, nowhere to park, and it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, how is parking over there? Because last I looked over there, it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You know, pulling out today, I had to wait for the pavement guy. He was putting fresh pavement on a gravel street.
Are they trying to get it set so at least the pavement and stuff is done before Thursday?
One would hope, but I don't know. I'm not privy to their plans. So.
Yes. No. I
know,
figured you
yeah.
weren't privy, but I
No,
figured
but-
well, maybe that's what you're trying to get that done.
Yeah, I'm sure they
school
are.
starts.
Everybody is working hard. It's just one of those things where it's a giant project, you know, and there's a lot of pressure.
Well, and I guess the hard part would be is that when you're having class and you have construction going around you, and you've got to deal with what is it? What do you have, about 1,300? No, how many students do you have?
About 1,200.
1,200 students, and you know, you've got to make sure they're all going to their classes in the right way, and stuff going around, and it does make it sort of chaotic. That's for sure.
It is what it is, but I mean, we've been doing it for almost a year and a half now, and we had a new wing open, and now I'm in the new wing, but the new wing isn't open. It was supposed to be open, so I'm in my old room in boxes, you know.
You're in boxes.
Yeah, you know, and it's very difficult. You know, you do what you can do.
Now, this year you're teaching not only English, if I remember correctly, you're also teaching film.
Yeah, they gave me a film studies class, and I've been asking for this class for 7 years.
Ah, that's
yeah,
good.
And it's popped up about a month ago, and I dusted off some notes that I wrote because I thought I would have it 5 years ago, and then somebody else ended up taking it. So I said, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Good, good. So that's a new chapter in your life to do a little something different, breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also difficult because you have to convince the kids that we're not just watching movies.
No,
we're talking about movies, analyzing movies, breaking down movies, you know, comparing movies to text and things. But a lot of kids come in and they just want to watch movies and put on the earbuds. Well, that's not acceptable.
No.
Can't do that. I mean, and I do a lot of foreign movies. I do a lot of independent movies. You know, I'm not going to show you Transformers.
No,
that's not my. You know, that's not
Das
what I do.
Boot.
Maybe that's not a bad one. That's Wolfgang Peterson.
Yes,
it's not a bad movie.
No, it's not. And they have to pay attention because you actually have to read the subtitle. The whole thing. And I love subtitle movies. I really do.
That's a good movie, actually. And Wolfgang Peterson, who is the director, is a very good director. Yeah. He did Troy and other stuff. Yeah. But Das Boot is very good.
It is an excellent movie.
I mean, you know, from the German sub World War II point of view, it's just. It was done with passion. It wasn't done with like they're the bad guys.
Yeah. No.
Which is easy to do. I mean.
And who was the actor? I can't think of his name now. And of course, I'm going off
track.
Jürgen, very good actor. Very good actor.
Yeah, who ended up being a bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
Or Part 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he's so much better than that.
You know,
But I guess sometimes you need the money.
Well, it's like Hans Gruber.
Yeah, right.
Who's done many great things,
right.
play-wise and stuff like that, but he was Hans Gruber.
But then again, I mean, you know, you try to do different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
as an actor, you have to make money too. And sometimes you do movies that maybe are below what you want to do, but you do them because you need to get paid.
I think I think you're sort of paraphrasing the late great John Houseman, who said, "If you can take the money, you take the money." And that's what John Houseman he told Robin Williams and Christopher Reeve.
Yes.
He was their professor, and he said, "Take the money." And they were, you know, after 2 years of tutelage under him, they were like, "Oh." They were surprised that he said that. You know, he's so serious and the Paper Chase and all these things. That he
great
did.
great movies too.
Yeah.
Well, we have a really special guest tonight.
Very special.
Very special.
Very special.
And she is also getting ready for the school year.
She certainly is.
And a big year coming up.
Yeah.
Lots of things going on.
Our second tour of duty on the show.
Yes. Yes. And she's come back, which is
I can't believe
which
that.
is great.
I can't believe that.
I'm very happy she came
I know.
back. And so I'm going to let you do the introduction.
Yeah. Our first guest of the night and our only guest of the night, unless somebody walks in, which has happened on this show, is Middlesex Community College President Anna Wasescha.
Close.
Wasescha.
Oh, I have to let's practice.
Wasescha.
Wasescha. It's wa. No,
Wa.
it's not woo, it's wa. Wasescha.
My guest tonight is Professor President Anna Wasescha.
Wasescha.
Thanks.
I pronounce everything poorly anyway, so
Yeah, that's okay.
hence the adverb. But so yeah, this is your second time on this show.
Yeah.
You actually wanted to come back.
Yeah, I did want to.
I never want to come back to the show.
I could just sit here quietly and watch the two of you just.
We've done, you know,
We
we've
actually-
done our shows before.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've sat here and we've gone back and forth and bantered back and forth. It's pretty easy. I mean, we have good chemistry. I would actually say that.
Well,
Yeah, you do.
there have been some nights where a guest was, I think a couple guests, they were caught, magicians, they were caught in the rain, they got caught in the
Couldn't
storm.
be caught and couldn't get here.
They called us.
The funny thing, I'll tell you a funny story. I had this dance group coming in from Bridgeport. I said, you know, Middletown, Connecticut, told them where to go, the whole 9 yards. They called me up. We're by Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm thinking, oh, there's no Buffalo Wild Wings. At the time, we were down the other studio, and I said, there's no Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know of any in the area. But we're in Middletown. I said, Middletown where?
No.
Middletown, New York.
Oh no. Yeah.
They went to Middletown, New York. So what I said is that, well, you're not going to make the show. I said, so we just went and did our thing that night. But they did come back the following month. I told them, take 8, 15, come up. And I said, yeah, much easier.
Right.
I felt so bad for them.
Well,
Right.
you know, one thing about the show, I've always liked the show, is that it's so flexible.
Yes.
We can, you know, we can interview a politician. We can interview a little kid. We can, you know, we take phone calls.
Yeah.
Every show is different.
Yes, it
Where
is.
I've seen some shows, you know, it's the format's always the same.
Yeah.
We have bands on. We have magicians on. We have musicians on. We have, you know, we did art. We have art. Somebody was showing art one night.
Oh, how about the thing you just had on last month, which was awesome? That
right.
was so cool with
The crystal bowls.
the crystal bowls. He plays
The man's
crystal.
like
Oh
crystal.
yeah, like
And
a
it was
good
just,
piece of yeah.
but he was just so good. It was just, I sat here and I'm just like listening to it, and he's singing with it.
It was very good.
And I just sat there and I was like, just getting into it. It was just like, I felt like going to sleep, and it was just so good.
It was something very different for our show.
Yes.
Even that, you know, that was great.
Yeah.
And we needed to, you know, do that, you know, change.
Yeah, we
change
do.
it. That's why we leave an empty chair. And,
Yep.
Because you don't know who could come in.
No.
You know, we've had.
There's some people I don't want to come in, but that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, that's no names.
Seth, no.
That was going to come now.
That was going to
that's
come
the
now
first
for
psychology,
sure.
right?
So
So you just basically said you don't want the former mayor to come down.
yeah, sometimes.
He's going to call now.
That's okay, you can
The
call.
phones are running, right?
That's right, 860
613
30
31.
860
613
30.
31.
That's right.
Hey, what's the last movie you saw? Quickly.
The new Tom Cruise movie, Mission Impossible.
I heard it's really good.
It is one of my favorite movies of the
For
summer.
a sequel, it's like.
No, it's really good. It was, I'll tell you, it just, the plot, he does all his own stunts, which I give Tom Cruise a lot of credit for.
Yeah,
He does his own, I mean, there's one stunt where he's on the outside of a plane.
I know.
And they've got him strapped in, but he's on the outside of a plane as it's flying up in the air, and it's just like, holy cow. I don't know how he does that.
I don't know. They may have just pasted him on.
No. He that was the one thing he talked about. They did a little thing. They had it on HBO or one of those, and they said he wanted to do his own stunts, and he's done it in a lot of other movies. But they certain stunts they won't let him do.
Well, because insurance
Lloyd's
company.
of
Because
London
insurance.
would
But he
think,
did that one because it was the way he was strapped down and the way they brought him in and stuff like this. There's no way I would be doing that. There's no way, because it has to give it a realistic look, and it's going up in the air like this, and he's on the outside of the plane. It's like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
They're not paying me enough money to do that.
It's amazing. Yeah.
But the movie was excellent. It was really good. It was about 2 hours and about 10 minutes. It's getting me set up for Spectre,
Oh, the James
the
Bond
James
movie,
Bond movie, which is coming out in November. So
Well,
I mean,
that's just something else, isn't it?
no, but this reminds me of that kind of movie. This is what they're branching off into, which I think is good.
The Bond movie looks so retro. It looks so 60s.
Yes.
They're using some of the score from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Daniel Craig looks like he's right out of 1967. The villain is, what's his name there? Christopher Waltz.
Yep.
It's just one of those things where they modernized it, but it's the 60s. It's not Roger Moore at all.
No,
it's very retro, but contemporary.
Oh no, I'm looking for. I'm really. I'll tell you, this past weekend they had a couple movies out. I didn't want to see either one of them. I said I'd go see that. But there's not a whole lot coming out for the next couple of weeks.
Right.
But then you got the new Star Wars.
Yeah.
You got Spectre. You got the last Hunger Games.
Wow, I've never seen any of those.
You never seen any of them? They're not bad. I mean, they're. I don't know. They're campy. They're struggles against the power, against what's going on around them, and they're trying.
Like you versus Marco.
Yeah, I never win though. They win though, actually.
Yeah.
They actually win. I never win versus Marco because then I get the blue screen or something like that. He's in charge.
He gets the last.
Well, we let him be in charge.
Yeah. Wow.
So no, I'm looking forward to this. I look forward to winter. I don't look forward to snow.
No, we're gonna have a lot of snow. I heard.
Snow.
I like.
She's from Minnesota.
I know. Yeah. No, I like snow. I just don't like when you get 3 feet in one storm. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it shuts you down. You can stay home and watch movies all day.
Did you ever see Fargo?
Yeah,
are
you kidding?
Are
you kidding?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
the
looking
Coen
forward
brothers are from Minneapolis.
The Coen brothers
St. Louis Park.
I am looking forward to the TV show.
I have
seen
seen
two.
it.
Season 2.
Oh, season 2. Oh, I didn't.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Is that anthology? Is it every season different, or
Yes,
is
every season's gonna be different.
Like
but
American
it's gonna be
Horror
something
Story,
like
yeah.
American Horror Story. So I said
I've
I'm
never
looking
seen
forward to it. The first one was very good.
It was. William H. Macy?
William.
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
Yeah, but
So
he
who
was
played the-
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, right, I know.
Billy
Yeah.
Bob Thornton.
So who's so
Pure
underrated?
evil.
Oh no, Billy Bob Thornton's
Sling Blade.
excellent.
Sling Blade is probably the best
Oh,
thing
Sling
I've
Blade
ever
was
seen.
an excellent movie.
But that's
Carl.
But that movie is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, people make fun of it. It's become part of the lexicon, but it's so good.
Yeah, no.
Oh my, it's so sad. What a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, my hope is now that we have up at her college at Middlesex that we're going to get the next Wolfgang Peterson.
Right.
Well,
It
listen,
could happen.
every time I go to the theater and see a movie, and my most recent movie was Ricky and the Flash, which is
Okay, yeah.
You know,
Rich
Meryl-
Springfield.
That was actually good.
Rick Springfield's in that with Meryl Streep, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
68-year-old Rick Springfield.
Yeah, and Mamie Gummer, her daughter, is in it, and Kevin Kline.
Yeah,
And I think the last time they were together in a film, maybe you can check this out for me, or know because you know everything about films.
I don't.
It was Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, I
Kevin
think
Kline-
yeah. And that's I can't even watch that movie. It's so sad.
It's horrible. But now they're so much older, and
Yeah.
and she's singing in all her most recent films.
Yeah,
Yes.
the ABBA one,
Yeah.
Mamma Mia, right?
Yeah, and then the what was the Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, right?
Yeah.
Right. She did a lot of singing now. Anna Kendrick and actually,
Right.
it was like a musical. I wasn't expecting that. And it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I
It's
was
amazing
not
how some
expecting
people just can do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything.
I know.
Yes.
That's why I get jealous. I get very jealous. Like I can't watch magicians because I'm like, how do they do that?
Yes.
I have no idea.
No.
Even if they show me how to do the trick, I
Well,
still.
that was like the time Nick took a picture and said there's going to be, he
Yeah,
folded it
on
up
the-
and it came in mail
on the
and
show-
didn't
on
even
the
know about
show.
it. And he did it on a show and he opened it up and said, guy in a yellow shirt and dressed it to me and I got it. There was a guy in a yellow shirt and the thing. And how did he know that? How did he know that? Actually, I heard from him, just so you know.
Oh,
He wants
really?
to come back up and do another show.
No, it's too
I said-
nerve-wracking.
I said, no tarantulas.
Was that the one I walked out of?
Yes.
The only show I ever walked out in
Yes,
17 years?
because the guy,
Yeah.
his friend has, in New Jersey, you're allowed like tarantulas. They have more exotic
Jersey.
pets.
Why?
And he brought in scorpions and stuff like that. And John says, yeah, I'm out of here.
Nope, I laughed. I laughed.
He laughed. I did the show by myself.
Yeah, no way.
I didn't mind. I didn't want to touch the scorpion though. Had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
I don't need it.
But I didn't mind the tarantula. Crawled on me. It was sort of pretty cool.
Goes back to an old James Bond film, remember?
Dr.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Sean Connery.
Yes.
And then that was actually in the book. It was a scorpion though in the book.
Scorpion in the book, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So anyway, every time I go to the movies, I say to my friends, all those names that show up at the end of the film, those are all people who could have come out of the Center for New Media at
Right.
That's
Middlesex
right.
Community College. And there's like X number of stars,
Oh, yeah.
2, 3, 4 stars, and there's a supporting cast, 10, 12, 15 people maybe, and then hundreds of names
Oh,
that just
yeah.
keep going and going
Yeah.
and going. And that's the real truth about those movies, is that they rest on the shoulders of hundreds of people.
oh, I believe
Yeah.
it.
And that's why I try to do this all the time. I don't always do it. I have to admit this, but I try to watch the credits at the
I do
end
too.
because
Yeah, I
it's
do too.
only fair to
It's
those
weird,
people
I do
who
that.
just
Yeah.
sit there and they work so hard and do all this
Right.
stuff and they deserve that recognition, and it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that. I mean, people looking to get out. Oh, okay, the thing's over. Let's go out. But I've gotten used to just staying there and
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah, I do
Absolutely.
too. Yeah, honor the people.
Nowadays, in Marvel films, there's always part at the end, so you do stay.
Yeah,
They
you
force
have to
you
stay.
They force
Because
you.
they force you to stay because then there's two things usually at the end or
Yeah,
one
which
thing,
is
and then you got to
cool.
say the end, which is good though because it makes you watch through everything, and
it's
it's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
So what type of movies do you like?
I'm looking forward to A Walk in the Woods, which is Nick Nolte and Robert Redford. And that's
really
Labor
good.
Day weekend.
Yes.
And that's one of my most favorite books, and I was an English major, but it's the only book in my life where I had to stop reading because I was crying so hard because I was laughing so hard that I couldn't read any. It's brilliant. I think Bill Bryson's great.
And Nick Nolte is just so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I just him and Robert Redford together.
Robert Redford
it's a perfect combination of yin and yang almost, where they're, you know, I mean, you got that gruff Nick Nolte type. You know, he's got that gruffness, and you got, you know, and it just this, you know, the scenes you see, get like a bear, you know, it just to me, it gives you a chance to see what they're going to do, and they're doing the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like a throwback to Jeremiah Johnson.
Yes, yes. But it is cool.
And I just saw Wild. Is it Wild?
Yes.
Which is the Pacific Coast Trail.
Right, where she did it by herself.
Yeah, and then Martin Sheen, and also she's from Minnesota.
Yes.
Cheryl Strayer.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, and all the really cool people are from Minnesota.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And there's a film about the Camino, which is the trail. It's a trail that, but mostly is famous for being in Spain, where it ends at a cathedral that looks out over the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes.
And Martin Sheen was in that. It's called The Walk, I think. Yeah.
The Walk. That's right. It was The Walk. Right.
Yeah. So you can get into themes, right? I mean, you have to sort of follow these themes through films.
But it is pretty cool. And The Wild was very good. She did a really good job. Reese Witherspoon did that. Yeah, she did a really good job in that movie, and it was a gripping movie, you know. And again, her being the only female out there at the time doing this and stuff, and there was another females that were doing parts of it, but she was doing the whole thing, and just, you know, her story and her background and all that stuff. It was good. It was really interesting movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I am actually Walking in the Woods. I forgot about that. It was coming out, and I remember seeing the previews. I said, that looks pretty good, I said.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So.
What's your favorite movie?
The Big Chill.
I like it too.
No question.
Really?
Boom, down.
Lawrence Kasdan.
Oh, incredible. Never really, he did the Grand Canyon after that. It wasn't as good.
I like Grand Canyon.
I liked it, but
Silverado, he did.
Yes.
He actually wrote Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Really?
Yeah. He's also writing the new Star Wars movie. That's the big thing. When George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney for $1.2 billion,
yes.
I mean, I have a tag sale. I make $800. I'm happy. But anyways, the first thing they said, J.J. Abrams, and we want Lawrence Kasdan. He did Body Heat, Big Chill, because he wrote Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild. I mean,
that's good.
Kevin Costner's wrist is in the movie. He plays Alex, the dead.
Really?
Yeah, he's the corpse. Why they all meet
right.
because of the funeral. He had committed suicide, unfortunately, and all these college friends get back together.
Right.
Okay. With the soundtrack of the '60s and Jeff Goldblum acting creepy, but.
Well, that's Jeff's shtick. No. I mean, back then it wasn't. You didn't know it was his shtick, but it was his shtick throughout the years.
Pre-shticky.
But he was in The Fly.
Yes, this is before.
Was it before The Fly?
Yeah,
before The Fly.
Yeah, because he had the long hair.
That's a super creepy film.
Oh yeah, it's a David Cronenberg movie where he's like, I'm getting And Gina Davis is running around in this thing.
Yeah, Gina Davis was young there. I mean, not as young as she was in what was that movie before that? Oh, that's driving me nuts. I hate that.
The Big Chill is so good.
Big Chill is just because
they're controlling. Don't control the interview.
You know what?
Don't control the interview. No, I know
I know
who it is too.
Marco, get that off the screen.
Thank you. We're interviewing. You do your own show.
We're talking about The Big Chill.
No, we're not going to do it. You know how we are. You're being passive aggressive.
Yes.
Yes. We'll talk about that on the bigger show.
Yes. Why are you passive aggressive?
Yes. We're going to finish our Big Chill discussion.
Yes.
And then we will go on.
And then we can go on. Okay.
Yes. I like The Big Chill.
I did too.
Yeah.
I've only seen it twice. I saw it once in the theater. I saw it when it first came out.
Yeah.
83, yep. Yeah. And I went with some friends of mine, and we were just like, you know, let's go check it out. And it just, to me, it was like coming of life type story. It was just really, I said it's going to be like Bob, Ted, and remember what was it? Was it
Bob, Ted, Carol, and Alice?
Yeah. I thought it was going to be similar to that, which is a very good movie.
Right.
This was different. This was another step, and I really thought this was a progression. And it also gave you just a backstory, and just I don't know, it was just so well done.
It's funny too, like how it's very realistic. Because they talk about like in college we're gonna start a school for these kids. And that's how everybody. But then when life really hits, you have to get a job.
Yes,
you know,
you got to work for a living.
Right.
You got to work.
One of them becomes I think Kevin Kline's character owns a shoe company.
Tennis shoes.
And he makes a lot of money. And William Hurt was a Vietnam vet, and then. He was injured, and he did little jobs here.
I liked William Hurt in that movie a lot. I really did.
It was very.
I think he's an underrated actor too.
And actually, you know, it showed, you know, he's a Vietnam vet, and
Yes.
he doesn't know what to do.
No.
He's just kind of drifting around America, you know. So it was a good movie.
Yes.
Whereas Grand Canyon was a little bit different thematically, but it was also the same. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought Danny Glover was very good in that movie.
He's a good actor too. Another underrated actor. Everybody thinks about him from like Lethal Weapon.
Right.
You know, with Briggs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with who also in his own right was a good actor. But let's not break off into too many different.
Can't break off.
Can't break off too much because I don't want to hear
the big
sign.
There's a former mayor now. This is what you did. Oh, of course. No, we can talk about what we want.
You know, Marco.
Yeah, you know what? No.
This is why you're paid what you're paid.
See, this is why Live TV is good. We're organically having a conversation.
Look what I did.
And I think Carolyn's behind it too a little bit. I have a feeling because she was pacing back and forth.
I saw that.
Yeah, she was.
She wanted to keep us on track.
So, but no, we're not. We're not going to keep on. No. Okay, no. That's why Live TV is good. There's nothing you guys can do.
That's right.
Except the people want to know what the president's favorite movie is.
I
do.
Right.
I do.
The Big Chill.
Big Chill. I will remember that now.
And mine is Godfather 2.
Wow.
It's just
Wow.
one of those movies that just. Well, there's other movies that are right there. It's tough though because when you get the top movie, there's like 4 or 5 that are like right in there. It's just like, but that one just because it was just so well done, and I love The Godfather, but I thought the second one,
two was
just the
masterpiece,
best.
Yeah.
It's just one of those movies I can watch again and again and again. Then they made 3, and I was just like, oh my god, I wanted to cry.
So in today's New York Times, there's an obituary for Marlon Brando's first wife. Who died at the age of 80. She was living in Washington State. She was the mother of Christian.
Right.
Right, and they fought over, custody battles over him most of his life, and then he had he ran into a whole lot of issues.
He went to jail.
He went to jail for 5 years.
Went to jail because I think he killed his sister's boyfriend. I could be wrong about that, but Christian Brando. And I think he worked for Michael Jackson.
Yes, he did at one time.
As a bodyguard, but I could be wrong. I don't know my Michael Jackson history.
But The Godfather, is Marlon Brando not in 2? He's only in 1, right?
Only 1.
No, he's only
the
in
first
1, right.
But I mean, he sort of is the icon, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. He
Right.
was supposed to be in 2 in that flashback, but he wouldn't show up.
No.
He wanted $1 million, even though he
Just to
agreed
show
for
up,
$500,000.
Yeah.
But $1 million, and they just said, nope.
No.
And
we'll do
they
without
made it
you.
off screen.
Yes.
Ava Goda came in, but they actually worked better without him.
Yes, it did.
Because his presence is still there.
Oh yeah.
He was also in Jor-El.
Oh yeah.
It's a Superman film.
But he was great in On the Water.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's his creme de la creme. I would say at this stage. And that was a great movie too. Again, the struggles of On the Waterfront about dealing with the management against trying to get a union together and stuff like that. And back then you needed that kind of stuff because there was no laws at all. And they would, it was just, and then that was his big. Well, no,
Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah, that
was.
You
got it,
Yeah, okay. I got to give. He actually won for both of them.
A Dry Wet Season was another one.
That's a great movie too. And he was a great actor. He really was. I think he phoned it in more when he got older.
Well, he did.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
He admitted
sure.
it. I think.
Apocalypse Now. He had an earpiece, and they were reading him the.
Oh yeah, they were reading the lines. Yeah.
But he was perfect in that role.
Yeah, they covered him up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One day, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Oh, that was Martin Sheen too.
Martin Sheen.
You're talking about
Right,
Martin Sheen.
so it's
Martin
all
Sheen
coming
was
back together. And basically what we've done is given you the films that you can have in your class.
Right,
Yeah.
Martin Sheen. A role that was written for Harvey Keitel.
That's right.
Yeah. He dropped out. He had a big fight with Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Martin Sheen had a heart attack in the middle
Yes,
of
he
the
did.
filming.
Yes, he
right?
did.
And they were really worried that
They
he
thought he
wasn't
was
going to
done.
come back.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, now what?
Yeah.
Right,
Is it that
right.
far
Because they
into
had
the
filmed
film?
so much
Yeah.
of it, right? And that was the problem. They had
Yeah.
very little film.
I mean, they were in the Philippines.
Yep.
And they didn't have the right hospitals. Oh, it was a
No,
mess.
no,
It was
no,
a mess.
no.
It was a mess. Like the people in the control booth think the show is right now, which is not. It is not. It is not. It is
It's movie night.
Yeah, it's
movie night.
We will do
It's
movie
okay.
night.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, this is to help promote the students who may be one day. Who knows?
Who are doing,
They could-
movie credits and titles and figuring out lights and,
Yep.
and
All those-
sound and all
right.
that stuff. And
We need lights in here sometimes done, but that's a whole other
Lights.
issue.
Well, we're going to talk for 5 more minutes. We'll go to a commercial, and then we'll get back on track because I don't want to hear from these people.
Yes.
So we have 5 minutes before 8:30, so it's
Yep.
8:25.
Okay.
The number is 860-30.
613-31.
That's 860-30.
613-31.
Give us a call.
We'll take any calls.
Yeah.
We take calls. See, we have a phone. It works.
Now, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
That somebody read on Facebook that you were coming on the show.
oh, really?
And I don't know if this is true or not, so I didn't research it because I don't know. I'm sure Carolyn would come out and yell at me. But no, it was a guidance counselor. Wanted to know why the Middlesex Community College Meriden Center is not open at nights anymore. And I said, I don't even know if that's true. So I don't know.
It is true.
Oh, it is true?
Yes, it is true. And it's true because our budget was cut so dramatically last February when the governor's budget came out. And a lot of it wasn't restored. So we had to find $1 million basically, you know.
Yeah, because she was saying that a lot of kids were coming in, they were working the day, marrying kids, and you know,
yeah,
I started asking. So.
We substituted courses on Saturday morning in Meriden.
Sure.
Then we've got online courses and hybrid courses and courses in Middletown. We have a course, we were hoping it would be more than one course, but we have one course in Westbrook, Intro to Psych, in case anybody wants to examine their mind.
Yeah.
I've already taken that. I took that in
You
college
have never
years
taken
ago.
Oh, he did.
I remember taking it,
Yes.
right. So that's an important course
Yes,
to
it
take.
is.
Everybody should
I don't
take
want to
Intro
know
to
what
Psych.
anymore. I don't want to analyze
No,
anything.
you don't want to analyze it.
No. But yeah, that was the question. And
Yeah,
I told her to call up, and everybody gets bashful. And I want them to think, well, they're not going to know who you are.
No, no. And the thing is that and again, we had budget cuts, and they almost closed the Meriden campus altogether.
Yeah, right, exactly. And we had 11 courses scheduled at night, so it wasn't, it wasn't an entire college catalog full of courses.
No, but still, 11's 11.
11 is 11, and for people who have, who work during the day, it's really difficult. Community colleges have got this tremendous challenge, which is we're designed to be pretty much everything for everybody.
Right.
And that works as long as we've got enough money to do that. So weekend colleges, nighttime, early
online,
mornings,
hybrid.
but then when things get tight, then we have to start trimming around the edges of that, and we end up not being everything for everybody.
No.
We try hard to be. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, when that happens, there must be a lot of pressure on you as president to say, we're going to make sure we have the money, or maybe there's not. I would assume there would be, though.
Well, the largest support that we get is from the state of Connecticut.
Right.
So, and we're part of a 17 institution, Connecticut State Colleges and Universities, and so the system office really does the lobbying for the funding. Yeah.
Wow, it's just so tough when you get a phone call one morning.
Yeah, I really try hard to have some principles and values, and so I've made a lot of cuts in the 4 years that I've been at Middlesex. But I keep trying to protect the academic program. So we still have all of our faculty and almost as many courses as we had before, and that's really important.
Once you start,
once you right. But then again, like you said, you have a new Board of Regents now for the
We have a
state.
new president for the Board of Regents.
Board of Regents, right.
Starting September 28th, Marco Jakian.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, we're going to go to a 4-minute PSA about the Oddfellows Playhouse.
Again?
That's what we're showing. Yes, again. And
I think your child's aged 10 years in this.
I don't care. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to continue our conversation.
Yes.
With the president of Middlesex Community College.
Yes.
So we'll see you in 4 minutes.
I like coming to Oddfellows because the people are absolutely great, and I have so much fun.
Whether it be a production for little kids or for the teenagers, it's always high quality work.
The experience that I'm probably most proud of is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I had a great cast, and the set was amazing.
I find Oddfellows a great family experience.
Oddfellows Playhouse.
Promoting the growth of
young people through the
performing arts.
"37 years ago, Oddfellows Playhouse was started by 4 Wesleyan students as a community theater program for young people. Since that time, Oddfellows has grown into Connecticut's largest youth theater, serving over 31 towns throughout central and southern Connecticut. Nearly 2,000 young people a year come through the doors of Oddfellows, where they make friends, learn about their community, and learn about themselves.
It gives them confidence to be leaders. It gives them confidence to work with other people. It offers a whole experience where they grow as people.
At Oddfellows, we run programming year-round for students as young as age 3 all the way up till age 20 in the performing arts. Oddfellows offers a technical theater program for middle school and high school students.
The great thing about theater is it's one of the last places in modern society where everyone's dependent on one another, getting everyone to collaborate together, from backstage crew to the kids who are actually doing the performances. Everyone's a key part of the program.
The teen repertory program is for our high school students. The Summer Shakespeare Academy is a 4-week intensive for high school students where they're immersed in the world of Shakespeare.
You get legitimate training. You learn how to say things eloquently, and you just have a great time, and you meet so many different types of people.
What she just said clears up what his story, what happened after his story, right? Oh, so you have to.
In stage combat class, I learned how to fall correctly, making it look like I'm actually pushed, but it's all in my control. Like throwing punches and making sure that the people who are being punched are the ones in control. David, our instructor, is really fun and really great, and he is really good at teaching us, because when he first taught us the things, it was sort of a just watch me and then you do, and then slowly we just became more and more comfortable with it, and he would add more things, and so it was very easy to pick up on.
Good.
Nice.
That looks really good. So just make sure you don't flex the foot. You keep the toe pointed, and you're sending that energy up. And you can go up with quite a bit of it.
The Junior Repertory Program is for middle school students in grades 6 through 8. Troops and Arts Explorers is an after-school multi-arts program for at-risk youth. Little Fellows is our newest program. It's for students aged 4 through 7. It's a 2-week multi-arts program involving dance, storytelling, movement, acting, and visual arts.
I really like doing drawing and crafts. We write stories and then draw pictures about them.
And we're just trying to give them fun things to take home so that they can really feel accomplished.
Our first ACT program is offered on Saturdays for preschool and kindergarten students. Our Stage 1 program is for grades 1 through 3. Students begin with Complete Actor 1, where they learn the basics of acting, and then their next program is a mini production. Our Stage 2 programs are for grades 4 through 5. Students begin with Complete Actor 2, and then their next class is a mini production. The Children's Circus is a 5-week half-day program where students are exposed to circus skills, including clowning, juggling, stilting, unicycling, and acrobatics. It culminates in an outdoor circus show for an audience of over 1,500 people. If you want to know more about our classes and programs and see how they fit with your schedule, check out our website at oddfellows.org.
Oddfellows Playhouse.
When you come here, it's like a world of fun.
They learn so quickly because the teachers are just really good at bringing out their strengths.
It's been a wonderful experience for all of us.
I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity where he could meet other children and be creative at the same time.
Oddfellows offers a variety of programs for children ages 4 to 20.
Oddfellows Playhouse.
Promoting the growth
of young people
through the performing arts.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah. And it's funny because by coincidence, you and I and our board produced that.
Yes.
We paid to have it produced.
We paid to have it produced.
Yeah.
So, because that was when they lost all their, they had a fire. They lost all their studio stuff. They lost all their wardrobes and stuff like that. And
but we never saw it until the final.
We didn't see it until the final thing. Yes,
they gave it to us one night.
So
and I'm like, that's my daughter.
Yeah, great.
That's wild stuff.
Yeah, little Luch.
So I think we're supposed to stay on task because that's the impression I'm getting from the booth.
I really don't care what they think.
But we could do a kind of stream of consciousness thing, right? So bring it back, because this has been a stream of consciousness program.
See, I know you like that.
I do like it.
I like it too.
I love it.
So I'm going to say a topic, and then
okay.
See, I'm trying to act like I'm not doing the right thing, but
okay.
Red Moon Fest.
Oh, well, okay. I wasn't going to go there, but I will go there. So the Red Moon Fest. What is the Red Moon? First of all, the Red Moon is the last full moon in August. So, this year it's August 28th, 29th.
Yeah. Yep.
One might ask, how long is a full moon full? But there's no answer to that.
No.
Isn't that great?
That is cool.
Yeah. So we decided we wanted to do something to celebrate everything that's grown, created, made in Connecticut, and community colleges are kind of the definition of that, right? Local. It's all local. So we started this 4 years ago, and it's the first Saturday that we can reasonably have a huge party at the college. And so this year it's September 12th from 6 to 9. There's music and really great food and wine and beer and a silent and a live auction.
Wow.
And we are going to be, every year we feature a different program. This year we're featuring our business programs, which do all the sort of functional areas in business, accounting, marketing, management, and finance. But our honorary co-chairs are Willette from Eli Cannon's.
Phil.
Phil, thank you. I want to be sure I had it right, so I didn't say it at all.
Yeah.
And you filled it in, so here we go. And Nora Cupcakes, and that is Carey.
That I don't know.
Carey,
Yeah.
oh, I keep
But
your
I know
first last
Nora
name.
stands for North of Apollo Avenue.
Yes,
I know the acronym.
right. It's
I know.
not the name Nora, not
No,
James
it's-
Joyce's wife.
Right, no.
Right. So they're the honorary co-chairs, and they're really perfect examples of small business and entrepreneurial people who also engaged in social change, right? Because that whole North End is experiencing a renaissance.
Yes.
And it's because they've thrown themselves into that work.
Sure.
And then they've attracted more and more
They
people.
put their money where their mouth is, too.
Yeah,
and it's them, O'Rourke's, Crossed. I mean, and they have done a really good job with that north of Apollo Avenue. That's what it is. It's that whole area.
I agree.
They've done a really good job. And it's not easy. I mean, really, I remember, I'm old. I remember when it was a lot different.
I do
back
too,
then.
actually.
You know, when it was just the O'Rourke's, and then it was a lot of bars and seedy and sort of scary. Now it's like you see people down there walking and enjoying themselves, and that's how it should be.
It is how it should be. Yeah. Right. So, so we're really excited. They're honorary co-chairs, and it's an opportunity for us to get people on campus. Some people who've never been there, and it's one of the most beautiful community college campuses in the state, I think. It's up against the hill, and you look out over the Argonne Bridge.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful up there.
Right. So
some developer would come in here and say, condos or something like that. It's perfect, though.
Nice.
It
I
is.
don't think
you can do that, though, right?
No,
You can't do that.
No, but it's beautiful. And then you got the woods behind, and actually you've got all the woods, and then you've got the fields going down. It's
two reservoirs, one on the south end, one on the north. Yeah, I love that place.
I do too. It's very nice.
So so it's visually appealing. So we can jump from. We talked about the new media and all the credits that roll after a film, and how those are jobs that people who go to the Center for New Media at Middlesex Community College can aspire to do in their professional lives. And we talked about Red Moon and how visually appealing the campus is. So I'm going to jump from that to ophthalmic medical assisting.
I like that. How do you pronounce that?
And ophthalmic. So how do you spell
it? A-F-L?
C-I-O. No.
Yeah, ophthalmic. I don't know.
I know. I had to learn it too when I arrived here. It's O-P-H-T-H.
That's right. That makes sense. Ophthalmic. That makes sense because of ophthalmology, the O-P-H. It's that whole,
Right. So we have
known better.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knew? You know, we have an ophthalmic.
I should have known better because my wife actually worked in the optometry field, so you get the, I should have known
It's going to be a tough night tonight when you go home.
Yeah, it is.
Come on. You know?
Is she watching tonight?
I don't know if she is. I'll find out later on when I get home.
Right.
Yeah, I will find out.
I should call you.
Yeah.
So we have the ophthalmic design and dispensing program, 2-year program where students learn how to get very engaged in eyewear and contact lenses. Ophthalmic medical assisting is to prepare people to do the work to assist eye doctors in the exams and to do the basic, the eye chart and understand the anatomy of the eye.
And they actually have a little eyeglass center down there.
Exactly.
I think I saw that, yeah.
Right. And it's kind of a perfect place in a way because you think about eyeglasses and then you go into the new media center and it's visual.
Right.
I've always thought we should do audiology because it's also
right. You
oral.
could.
Yeah, that's the next thing.
That's the next step.
Yeah, right.
I already see she's got the wheels are turning in there. She's thinking all these different things. Put them all together.
It's all related, right?
Well, but the good thing about that is that it also gives people a chance to do careers and get into different things. I mean, ophthalmology and all that. I mean, those are careers that we're going to need more of, especially with baby boomers. As myself, at the end of the baby boomers, who are getting older, and eyes are very important, and hearing, you're talking about audiology, and it's just like these are different things that are coming up that we're all going to need. Regretfully, I'm going to need those at some point, I guess. I don't know. I've been lucky for the glasses so far.
Really?
So far, no reading, no nothing yet. Yeah, I know. Wow. 52, not bad.
Wow.
That's like fantastic.
Yes. So I'll take it. But I'm going to see the doctor in another couple of weeks. We'll see.
You have to come back and report.
Yeah.
So so if you get into it, you can certainly come down and get some glasses made for you at the ODD.
That I'm looking forward to. Actually, I'll come down and see what you have because that'll be interesting. And again, support your local school, and that's always a good thing.
That's quite a remarkable program because. Again, the faculty members in charge of it really do care about social change, and so one of the things they do is go on trips to Latin America. This last summer they were in Africa, and they give people eye exams, people who've never seen an eye doctor before, and then they make hundreds of pairs of glasses and ship them to them so that they can see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because and you don't even think about that. I mean, here in America, we're so lucky that we have the opportunity to do this, but you got other countries, third world countries, they have no clue. They've never been able to see correctly. They have always had bad vision, nearsighted, or diseases, eye diseases, and it's just like it's so sad. And then this is a way to give them a chance to see. That is such a big thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it's quite wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's the 2-year program, the ODD, ODD. like an Odd Fellows, right? Ophthalmic design and dispensing, Odd Couple, right? Now we're flipping back into cinema, but that's okay.
TV.
That's all right.
Well, no, cinema too. Theater, TV.
Yep.
Okay, and then, but the ophthalmic medical assisting is a 6-month program. It's a semester. So, and it's
done. It's a certificate, right?
Yeah, and it's Saturdays, and it's pretty easy to, to get that all done if you can take the time and work on it. You can work while you're doing it because it's these Saturday hybrid courses. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit was manufacturing, because we have a manufacturing program. And
that I think is awesome. I have to, and not to interrupt you, but just, well, yeah, I sort of did, but that's besides the point. But manufacturing is something I so badly want back in our country, because I think that would be such a wonderful thing. And we had John Ratzenberger, who from Cheers and all that, does all the Pixar. That's his big thing. He wants manufacturing back.
Really?
In America, in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, and he's talked about how we have our tradesmen are getting so much older, and we don't have anybody to replace them. And these are well-paying jobs. And so it was a big thing with him, was talking about how we need to get tradesmen back.
It's true.
And I agree with that.
And we had a great interview with the professor from Middlesex who brought in, talked about manufacturing program.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good. All right. Yeah, I think for me, it's thinking about how everything that we use in our daily lives is manufactured. Even this desk and all of the things that the cameras are mounted on, those cameras themselves, right? And they can be made in America, which is, kind of re-importing manufacturing jobs is something President Obama has talked a lot about, and I think that's, it's a good thing for our country. And when we've got the issue with the kind of hollowing out of the middle class.
Yes.
And it's really the kind of job that will situate a person in the middle class.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's important.
Well, and that's the thing, and it goes along with when you talk about ophthalmology and stuff like that. Again, that helps fill in the middle class with people who are getting fairly high-paying jobs that you don't need a lot of schooling for. And I think last time you were here, I mentioned that not everybody's made for 4-year college, but you need training after high school. You can't just go out there like the old days. I mean, you could go out there, high school diploma was plenty, but now you need that extra training to get those jobs where you're making good money, middle class. You can be lower middle class, middle class. You want to be in that thing so you can own a home someday and do all these things that your parents wanted.
Right. Yeah, so can I spin off from that for a moment?
Sure.
Okay, so what you just said is you need more than a high school education.
Yes.
So in 1947, I'm not going to go through every year since that, right? Yeah. In 1947, President Truman commissioned a commission on higher education because he wanted this country to rebound from the war.
Sure.
And they also had a very, very strong sense of how important it was to protect democracy. And that was a huge piece of what they wanted to be sure that they could preserve, after the threats of the Third Reich and Nazi Germany and Mussolini and the fascists and the Axis and the Allies and all of that stuff. I mean, it was everybody thought about that in the late 1940s. And so this commission came up with some really remarkable things. One was a high school education is not going to be sufficient, right? Because at that point, people weren't even going to high school. They were leaving after 8th grade, So, this commission proposed that there should be essentially the 13th and 14th grade, which we call now community colleges, but at that point they called them junior colleges, and that it should be free. Right? And the free piece, for a while, actually happened. In California, community colleges are free.
I never knew that.
Yeah, but it's coming back. What's old is new again.
Yes.
And President Obama is talking about that, and all of the candidates who are in the presidential race now eventually are going to have some kind of policy statement around whether or not community colleges should be free.
Right.
So then the question is, why should it be free? And one piece of it is for the national defense, which goes back to Truman and to the 1950s and 60s in American higher ed, where if you got a loan or a grant in the 1950s and 60s, really actually until the early 70s, they were often National Defense Education Acts. So we, in our country, we completely understood that if we were going to be strong and be able to be the first world power, we were going to have to do it through education. It was the route. It was the best route. Also, Truman had integrated the troops, as you may remember, in World War II, which was a very controversial thing at that point. But he and his commission were really concerned about how to make sure that a heterogeneous society, which is what we have in our country, increasingly heterogeneous, as we go into this next election, how important it is that the Hispanic population be engaged in voting. And we have the dialogue now about illegal immigrants and all of that. But an increasingly heterogeneous population has got to be able to pull together for the common good. So they have to understand why is the common good a good thing, and how to set aside, to some degree, some of the private gains that might be made in order to ensure that we have the kind of quality of life that we want to live. So people are very concerned, because we don't have a lot of money in this country. We certainly don't have a lot of money in Connecticut, but they're concerned about this kind of radical idea. But I wonder, high school is free, right? And high school is not sufficient. So if we want to make sure that we have an educated workforce and a workforce, a population that's capable of sustaining a democracy, like showing up to vote, and I'm sure as a teacher in the Meriden schools, you worry about this a bit.
Well, yeah.
I worry about it at my college, and people across the country are worried about it. The voting participation rates of college students is nowhere near 100%.
No.
It's more like in the 40%.
Which is unacceptable.
Yeah, it is unacceptable. So, how and where do you teach people a trade or a skill or the knowledge they can use to earn a decent living and
pay taxes on that. On top of that.
Exactly, which goes back to the common good. And then how do you convince them that it's worthwhile to be engaged in the public life, by voting, but also by being a good neighbor and friend, looking after your neighborhood watch programs, that's a good example.
Community service.
Community service, And
Yeah.
some of that comes as a result, and now I'm going to swing back to stream of consciousness. It comes about as a result of, as a young adult or an adult, learning how to work collaboratively with people, so that you end up with a product that is better because you've got energies coming from all different points of view, which the two of you are perfect illustrations of. On your own, the show would not be what it's this dialogue, this amazing relationship you have with each other. So you're a real functioning, high-functioning team.
Yes.
You have to learn how to do that. People don't automatically know how to do that.
No.
And
it's taken many years. No comment, Marco.
Well, and school, as you know, because you're a teacher, it rewards individual effort. So when you grade a test, you're grading one student.
Right.
But in the end, I'm not running that college by myself by a long shot.
At least you realize that, because some people don't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the leaders, they think it's all them, which is strange to me.
Because it's never all
I've always found that bizarre,
Right.
in education especially. But
right.
Go figure.
So, I think, in the end, if we could pull it off financially, free community college in this country would be fantastic.
Do you think that's going to happen in the next 5 years?
I think they're going to, I'm hoping that they'll figure out a way to needs test people.
Right.
Because I suppose the children, Donald Trump's children probably shouldn't be able to go to Middlesex Community College and not pay any tuition, because he could well afford the tuition. Yeah. But for people who really cannot well afford it, then it would be great. And one of the really amazing things about Middlesex, and most of the community colleges in Connecticut, which is rare, by the way, in terms of the country, is that most of our students don't take loans. Because the other issue is the debt, right? And there's $1 trillion of student debt out there. Yeah. People say it's like the housing bubble. It's the next bubble that's going to burst. The federal government's making money on that loan program because they're charging interest. They're going to have to eventually figure out that they probably won't be able to collect on all that debt, and then there's a problem. There's a bubble that will burst. Sure. Whether or not we've shifted the cost of higher education to students. Students don't have the means. Their family don't have the means to shoulder that burden. So we say, well, we have a way for you to do it. You can borrow money against your future earnings, really. Right. But people are borrowing a huge amount of money. But fortunately, Middlesex, fewer than 5% of our students.
I was going to say, Middlesex is now. What is it full time? If you take 5 classes at Middlesex, what is the cost?
It's under $4,000.
It's under $4,000 for you.
It's like $38.75 or something. It's really incredibly affordable.
Yeah. And that's why I always want to remind people out there. My nephew is third semester at Middlesex, and he's got his classes all set up, and he's ready to go. And and it's a good thing for him. I keep telling him, I said, this is the way to go, because you go to community college first, get your associates, and you move on to your 4 years.
With little or no debt.
Right, with no debt. He'll have no debt. He'll have no debt. He really won't.
You won't understand it, to later.
No. And I said, then if you get debt, when you go to it won't be nowhere near as much, because you'll have 2 years you won't have any debt. And that's that helps you out so much.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, it's economically rational to go to a community college.
Yes, it is.
It's academically rational because it's a really great environment with small classes.
Yeah. Sure.
Our largest classroom holds 35 students, so we have lots of very small classes.
Listen, I still remember going to UConn, and we had a class of, what was it, 100 and something. It was 115 or something like that. It was just like, and you're in this little lecture hall. It's just like, it was impossible. And there's bigger classes than that, because I know a friend of mine was telling me the other day, classrooms where they had 400 people. Right. What do you do with 400 people in a classroom? That's not a classroom. That's a lecture hall. That's a lecture time. I mean, that's just too mind-boggling. You get no one-on-one time ever.
Right.
You know, does he know your name? I mean, that's always a good thing. You sit in the same area so they know who you are. But 35 is not bad.
Yeah, 35 is good, and 15, 20 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, 15, 20.
Right.
Yeah. And then again, it's a school that's nearby. It's in Middletown. It's on a bus route, so people, if you don't have a car, you can take a bus and go there. And at the same time, you're improving for your future, and you're getting yourself a career, or at least started on a career towards something that's going to help you the next 40, 50 years.
Yeah, the vast majority of the students who leave Middlesex transfer to four-year institutions or eventually transfer to four-year.
Right.
Because in the end, you know, high school's not enough.
Yeah.
An associate's degree, it's maybe not quite enough.
Right.
You know, and then so bachelor's degree. But I will say another thing about community colleges is that they're sort of like the new graduate school. So it's not unusual to have somebody earn a bachelor's degree in my favorite subject in probably years, English. Think for a while that they want to do something. Right. Doesn't work out, but think, well, you know what? I should go back and maybe I should, you know, get into the eyeglass industry, or I should get a manufacturing certificate. Yeah. You know, we have radiological technology. I can work in the X-rays. You know, things where and that's technical education. Everybody needs to know how to do something. Yep. But it's also really important that they know how to think, which is the hardest work of all, right?
When you talked about that made a lot of sense to me, because I had a friend of mine who went and got her four-year degree, then ended up going back to she ended up going to radiology, she ended up going to Middlesex, and that's what's been her field now. And because even though she has a four-year degree, she couldn't find anything she wanted in her field that was going to actually support her.
Right.
And so she says, well, I need to do something, and so she ended up going to radiology. Now she's got a career, and she's doing quite well, and she's got a family and stuff. This whole big circle thing, and you were right. Come back and you went to school, and that wasn't right, and then went to that. So
right. I think, you know, especially there's a huge amount of pressure on high school students to figure out what their career track is.
Sure.
But there's a piece of that isn't completely rational. We go back to the theme of being rational. Yeah. Because we know most jobs that exist today didn't actually exist 10 years ago. Yep. Maybe didn't even exist 5 years ago, and we know that going forward, the change will be phenomenal.
Oh, it's ever changing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
So the most important thing is to have quantitative and verbal skills, be able to work in groups, have a value system, participate in your democracy, and be a kind and compassionate human being who's prepared to learn. You know, and you learn by being able to read and talk to people and you know manipulate numbers. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that I think's not our failing right now. It's the young people with the. And I'll just lift mine up so people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's
tough. You know, it's constantly, and it's just like, you know, I mean, how does it help you? I mean, when I see people at table, this was the funniest thing. I went out to dinner, and I'm with friends, no phones. We were all going down on the side, and there's a table of 4 teenagers or young people, and they're all on their phone. None of them are communicating, but I think they're communicating all with each other with the phone. I never understood this. Why would you sit across from somebody and be on your phone texting? I never understood that.
Yeah.
It's just maddening. So I'm just hoping that that's the one thing that people can learn when they go to college too, is that you have to have verbal skills. You can't just sit there on your phone. It won't get you by through life, and you've got to be able to have that verbal eye to eye, be able to look someone in the eye and talk to them.
Right.
That's
and
important.
Also to think a little bit more deeply than you might be able to do in whatever 144 characters in a tweet or something. I mean, there's more to it. It's a conundrum because we have access to more information than we've ever had before, and it's free access. I mean, the World Wide Web is astounding. Yeah, but then you've got to be able to filter it, analyze it, trust but verify it. You know, you've got to really be able to.
For the younger people, they believe everything.
Yes.
Not all of them. I mean,
it's on the internet. It's true. It must be true.
They believe that the Jerry Springer show is a real show at the same time. And I had this conversation. I go, it's scripted. It's blocked. They block it.
Of course it is.
But no, blah, blah.
I actually had a friend of mine who was on Jerry Springer. Right. And it was definitely staged. The whole thing was
reality
staged.
TV, I see. Yeah. That's not, they keep doing it over and over
again. They do it
again.
for a reason. There's a reason it sells and stuff like that.
It's amazing how people don't realize that.
No.
Well, not only that, but they make more money on that kind of television because they don't have to pay actors. And they don't pay script writers.
No.
They just
just cameramen, and that's it. Just
networks
people,
know
and that's it. They love it because it's cheap.
Of course.
Right.
Even if they give out $1 million, I just watched. It was a survival show where 10 guys went out into British Columbia. They had their own cameras, no one with them, and they had to survive out there for as long as they could. I forget what the name was, and it just got done with. The guy was out there for 56 days by himself.
Wow.
With nothing, and just they have like knives. They have a thing for a bear spray in case bears come by and stuff. That's it. And he was there for 56 days. He lasted. It's just like, how did he do that? And it's just like, and he even said towards the end, he says, it's just you're talking to yourself. You're talking to the camera. You have no one to talk to. It's just the isolation is so tough. You know, so I mean, what would these kids do? They would go, they would lose it.
Right.
But it was a really interesting
Especially if there's
thing.
no cell phone service, right?
No,
I mean,
there's no
you're
nothing
isolated.
out there. Nothing.
Right.
You're really isolated.
Yeah.
You know, you hear a wolf in the background howling. That's your that's what you get. That's your sound. That's wild. I don't know how they did it. I don't know.
It's a new version of Walden, right? I
Yes.
went to the woods. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Thoreau.
Oh, we've got what, 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
All right. Well, where do you want to go from here?
Well, do you want any final words about pitching kids to come to Middlesex and why they should come to Middlesex?
Yeah, I would say another good reason to think about a community college is that college is kind of a high-risk enterprise anymore, and if you're not completely sure about what you want to do, you can come in and dip into various courses and talk to faculty members, meet other students, make friends, and learn about different occupations, and that's a worthwhile venture too. It's a very safe place. It's small. And the faculty I'm really proud of the faculty. Their credentials are great. They're good teachers. Community colleges are different from universities in that our faculty are evaluated on their teaching. They're rewarded for their teaching. I celebrate the ones who publish, and some of them do. Have you ever interviewed Victor Trier?
No.
Well, you've got to have him on your show.
Sure. Okay.
Victor is a history professor, and he has a PhD from the University of Southern Florida, or maybe Central Florida, or Florida. He'd probably kill me if he heard me ripping through all the universities in Florida. But his parents were Cuban. He was born in Miami. He, as his dissertation was on the Pedro Pan movement, where the Catholic Church collaborated with parents to take children out of Cuba, with the idea that they reunite them, but thousands of these children were brought, and it was very complicated. And he's now writing one on the Mariel boat lift, which was the piece when Castro let people leave Miami, but then he also released convicts and.
It was right. He left in Cuba, He opened up his
Jimmy Carter administration.
Right. Yep. So he's and you just have to say Cuba to him, and he knows he's such a deep fount of information. You may not know that. Do you know that I have a radio show?
I do not know.
It's called Middlesex Moments. It's on once a week for the first time and then replayed twice.
88.1, I would assume?
No, it's WLIS WMRD.
Oh, 1410 and 1150.
Yeah. So, and I just today.
1470. That's what.
Or 1140. It's one of those
1150 is definitely one.
Okay.
That's WMRD. I always get goofed up on the LIS
part.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Today I interviewed Steve Kravisky. Your father teaches math, right?
Yeah.
So Steve is a math professor, and he's a person who's committed his life to social change and social issues. But he also knows more about baseball than anybody ever in the entire world. So today, for example, and I don't know the answer to this, so maybe I'll leave you with a stumper, and your viewers can watch it. He said, what professional baseball player played for the Boston Braves, the Milwaukee Braves, and the Atlanta Braves?
Was it Hank Aaron?
Hank Aaron.
No. It was somebody who played on all three teams.
Seb will know. Seb's over there. I can see Seb thinking about it in there.
So he knows like everybody's number and when they hit a home run on their birthday and when and what
it's
in the
numbers.
history.
It's a math number. It's in math, and he's got it all.
He's very active in this thing called SABRE, which is the Society for American Baseball Research.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's.
So this person played for the Boston, Atlanta, and Milwaukee Braves.
In Milwaukee, because the Braves, there were two teams. I started this with him about there were two teams in Boston, right? The Red Sox and the Braves.
And the Braves,
Babe Ruth played for, actually, the Red Sox and the Braves.
Right.
Did he?
I think, right? Didn't Babe Ruth play for the Braves at the end of his career?
At the end of his career, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, so then they franchised. So then I said, like, what do you mean franchise? Well, they franchised it, so Milwaukee wanted a team, so the Braves went out there.
Yeah.
And it worked for a while.
Yeah.
And they did well. I think they may have even won a World
Happy
Series.
Days, the show Happy Days, they would always go to the Milwaukee Braves games.
Yeah, right. But then they began to fade, right? So then Atlanta, and that ultimately had to be Ted Turner. So now we're back into movies and Jane Fonda and television. It all fits together, right?
We have 1 minute left.
All right,
we got the
countdown.
And CNN, who he sold for, he's got the biggest, he owns the most land of any private citizen in the United States.
Bison. He raises bison.
He raises bisons. but he has thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land out there.
Well, we have to go.
We have to go.
We have to go.
They're running credits.
Running credits.
I see our names.
Yep. So when's your show?
Well, my show is next Friday.
Okay.
Not sure who's going to be on yet. No. I don't know yet. But also to let people know, the 15th of September and the 13th of October, we have a special shows coming up. Meet the candidates. They'll be on here. They'll be talking about whatever you want to talk about. Again, we take live phone calls. And again, thank you so very much for coming on.
Thank you.
And I look forward to a good school year. And I'll tell my nephew to be good because I know someone in higher places that it's all over for him if he acts up.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That's a wrap.